Welcome to another Telltale Books video. I'm Greg, and I'm going to continue my J.G. Ballard series with this video and his 37th published work. We're getting quite far along with J.G. Ballard, and it's a short story titled The Time Tombs. Excuse me, it's actually considered a novelette. And it was published in March of 1963 in If Science Fiction magazine here in the United States. And I don't have a copy to hold up. It's in the mail right now. Probably before I post this video, I'll take a picture of it because it has a really cool cover of the magazine illustrating the time tombs by Virgil Finlay. And Virgil Finlay did two interior illustrations for the time tombs. Virgil Finlay was definitely a good choice for this story. It almost seems like this story was written for the Virgil Finlay illustrations, not the other way around, which could have been the case, not impossible. And of course, I've read this story in the complete short stories of J.G. Ballard, my Bible that I'm using for this journey. We're almost halfway through it. The Time Tombs is a traditional science fiction story, something that Ballard did not do a lot of. It's set on the planet Mars, which is unusual for Ballard to go out into outer space. It's hard to know with this story. It may be far, 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 far in the future, or it may be not too far in the future and mankind has gone to Mars, but they're discovering these time tombs. What they are these like capsules where thousands of years ago, probably hundreds of thousands of years ago, people recorded themselves. The people that were on Mars at the time recorded themselves on these tape spools, which makes me think maybe this is a ridiculously far future story, and they're talking, because this is like current Earth technology for 1963 to do tape spools, at least for audio anyway. Except what they're doing is they're not recording audio, they're not recording video, they're recording their whole bodies, minds, and personalities into magnetic data on these tape spools. They place these in these tombs. The tombs are able to play these reels, and so that you can see who the person was. Okay, well, at this time, the people who did this long since dust. They must have done it because they knew they were dying out and they wanted to preserve themselves somehow. It's speculated that these people were hoping to be able to somehow revive themselves off these tapes. But instead, Earthmen are there, breaking open these time tombs and stealing these tapes, taking them to a place on the moon that's keeping them all. So whatever technology they were hoping for that might revive them, the tapes are not anywhere near any such thing, so they're not going to get revived. And this one guy, he's kind of new at it. He's trying to get money to get himself out of trouble with the law. And so he hooks up with this old guy that takes him out into the Martian desert to find time tombs, because if he finds some really good tapes, he can sell them and make enough money to buy himself out of trouble. But he comes across this one tape that he goes ahead and plays it instead of just taking it out of the machine and running away. He plays it in the tomb, and it projects an image of this beautiful woman with wings, what are described as reptilian wings. And he's entranced by her, of course. Every time a guy sees a beautiful woman, even if it's in a hologram like in Star Wars, he starts drooling like Luke Skywalker. Anyway, that's how we're built. That's how we're programmed. Deal with it. So that's the essential story. It's a pretty simple it's a complex idea, but the plot is pretty simple. The characters are well done. Of course, Ballard's descriptions, he paints his stories. Okay, Ballard is an artist. He paints his descriptions in words in these stories. It's just masterful. You know, even his worst stories, even his simplest stories are worth reading just for the way he writes. He writes like a painter. And as a painter, he's a surrealist. And his descriptions are just mesmerizing. His wordsmithing is mesmerizing. I'm not going to give this a top tail because the story is kind of simple, straightforward science fiction. But I am going to recommend this. I think this is worth seeking out and reading, The Time Tombs. I think it's a really good story, particularly for anybody who loves J.G. Ballard. And so, have you read The Time Tombs? Leave your comments in the comments section, of course. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to help us keep going. We're above 1,000 subscribers. I want to keep going. Would like to find, I want to find as many people as I can who like this old stuff, who like this stuff that nobody else is really talking about, and who have the passion for these stories like The Time Tombs and Sojan and H.G. Wells and all this stuff. That's my audience. That's the people I want. That's who should be watching these videos, and I want to find as many of those people as possible to share this passion with me. But that was Ballard number 37. Number 38 is going to be Now Wakes the Sea, which was published 2 months later in the Magazine of Fantasy and Science Fiction. I hope you'll join me for that and all the rest of the Ballard to come. It's going to be a little while before we get to another novel. And, of course, all the other content we do on Telltale Books.